Welcome to Commander Tunes for the Nitpicking Nerds.
In this episode, we are creating a Killian Ink Duelist deck for our patron, Joseph.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, BZ, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. We're bringing you daily Magic content every single day, which is coincidentally someone's birthday, is when we post. So happy birthday today.
Yes. And also, if you'd like to support us, you can go to patreon.com. Support us directly. That is the best way to support this channel, and we appreciate it beyond belief. You can also support the channel by using our TCGPLAYER affiliate link. Go there, buy the Magic cards you were going to buy anyway, spend the same amount of money, but the nerds get a kickback because they see that you went through that affiliate link. Same is true for Dragon Shield. Best sleeves in the multiverse.
Good sleeves.
Good sleeves. They are awesome sleeves. You can get them on their website. You pay the same price as you would in stores, but you're supporting the nerds again, and we appreciate it. And it's the only place you can get the custom sleeves is online.
Which are absolute bangers, and we have a lot of them currently. So let's get to this tune-up, which isn't really a tune-up. He kind of just said, can you make me an Orzhov deck? You can pick whatever you want. No restrictions. Go nuts, I quote from Joseph. And we went a little nuts. This is a Killian deck. We've always wanted to make a Killian deck. We always talk about how cool it is. So let's put our money where our mouth is.
Yeah, usually we take a deck and we upgrade it under the restrictions. That's not the case this time. That's just not the case. We chose Killian because we thought he was like the coolest Orzhov commander to build around, really unique. And like I said, we're just going to go in. The thing we avoided with this deck, our own restrictions that we set, we didn't go super stapley. We avoided the Mana Crypt. We avoided the I can't even think of
Fairy's Protection.
The Fairy's Protection, the super staples that, you would just throw in every one of the stacks. We did put in like Necropotent, Smothering type, because this does have an enchantment sub-theme, so it really fits with the deck. But obviously, if you want to upgrade this deck to like Max Killian, yeah, Fairy's Protection probably should be in there. But we're building a Nitpicking Nerds deck. If we were building this deck, this is how we would build it.
Yeah, we'll throw in the off-color fetches while you're at it. But we got to read Killian before we upgrade it, or before we make this deck. Black-white for a 2/2 with lifelink and menace. Really simple ability. Spells you cast that target a creature cost 2 less to cast.
Well, that is extremely simple. That means if you cast an instant that targets a creature, it costs 2 less. Aura. Auras. Oh, actually, theme of this deck. It's actually an Enchantress deck with a mostly Auras theme.
Surprise.
Surprise. I mean, it is what Killian does best. He really likes suiting himself up, making those enchantments cost basically nothing. What's the game plan, though?
Well, the game plan is to Voltron Killian. He's our main man. We could do something else, but we're probably going to do Killian. And kill players in 1 or 2 hits. That's the plan. We're trying to get them dead as quick as possible. We're going to have tons of recursion to back up our plan. And the average mana value of this deck is quite low. But with Killian, it's like absurdly low.
Yeah. He carries he carries auras extremely well. He has menace and lifelink, which means he has evasion, and he allows us to just throw everything on him, attack and not have any defenses and be fine because we gain so much off a lifelink.
Yeah, if I'm gaining 15, I'll take your 25 on a crackback. I can maintain that and just hit you until you're dead.
First thing we got, auras. We want to put auras onto our commander, so some of our favorites, Night Howler. Okay, this card is super cool. You enchant a creature, and for each creature in a graveyard, that creature gets +1/+1. That can be a lot, and we have a mini sub-theme of self-mill. It's not huge, but it does exist.
We can, through the critical mass of enchantments we're going to play, and through some self-mill, we're going to get cards in the graveyard, no problem. Night Howler is an enchantment, is an aura, which costs only black to enchant. And then when the creature dies, like if Killian bites it, we just get a creature that has the same ability anyway, and we can just suit that thing up.
Yeah. There's also Felidar Umbra. This gives a creature lifelink, but it's totem armor. We can also move it around. That's not super what we're interested in. We're mostly interested in the fact that this is a totem armor. We wanted at least one piece of totem armor, as what it does is prevents when that creature would die. Instead, you just sacrifice totem armor. That's going to save us in a lot of situations. A board wipe. It's like, all right, I'll destroy all creatures. Well, Killian survives, and we just put the Felidar Umbra into the graveyard.
Well, here's where it matters is you play it early on Killian, but then if Killian gets indestructible through another means, you can just move it onto your next best creature.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We also have Blessing of Leech. I love this one. It's so silly. It has flash. It's 2 and a black, so it's only going to cost 1 black, and we can pay 0 to regenerate Killian. Well, this is just a nice way to protect it. You can leave it in your hand. Players don't know about it, meaning that you can get around things. Now, maybe they damnation and you cry, but that's
no,
okay.
You're missing. You always hype this card up, and you don't talk about the downside. Every single one of your upkeeps, you have to lose a life, so be careful.
Yeah,
1 life every turn, and Killian has lifelink, so it's extra bad.
It's so
extra hard to lose that life.
It does not matter at all. We also have Timely Ward, which also has flash and gives indestructible. Well, it only has flash if you target your commander. Well, guess what? We'll just always target our commander.
Even if we don't, it still costs white with Killian out.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just going to mostly likely put this onto our commander. For 1 white mana, he has indestructible, which is awesome.
There's also Spectral Ward. We need Killian to have more evasion than just Menace. That's not going to cut it for the entire game. So when we give him protection from all colors, not only is it not removing our auras that we suited him up with, but this is what leads to these 1-hit kills or these 2-hit kills is just go, hey, my Killian has protection from basically everything. You can't destroy it. You can't make me sacrifice it because I have other creatures. And you can't target it with anything. Take 12. Go ahead. What are they going to do?
Yeah, Spectral Ward is funny because it leads us into our next category, which is this mini cantrips. It's still auras, but all these enter the battlefield. They give some minimal effect that we don't care about a lot, but we care about a little bit, but they draw a card. Unquestioned Authority is probably the best of these. It's going to cost us a white, draw a card, and we have protection from creature. This is just evasion. This means at this point we can just attack and nothing can block it.
Yeah, they all cost, once Killian's out, they all cost literally 1 mana and they draw a card and they have some positive effect. Not to mention all the other cards we had that we'll get to that care about the number of enchantments. Whenever you cast an enchantment, oh, how many enchantments are in your graveyard? Like those things, it's all going to check that. So Angelic Gift, Chosen by Heliod, Rune of Sustenance, Rune of Mortality, Scourge Mark, Grizzly Transformation, Pentarch Ward, which is good to give protection from non-white or black, and Scavenged Weaponry. Just perfect. We're just going to chain them. There's turns where we're just going to slam like 4 of these at once and then smack.
Yeah, I love it's flying. If you want to know what flying.
+0, +2.
+0, +2.
Perfect.
Lifelink, which isn't that useful. Death Touch, +1,
+1, +0.
+1, +0. Yep.
Intimidate.
Yeah. Protection and
+1.
+1. That one I loved when I found that one. I'm like, it's like an old card. It's so weird. It's just why? It's terrible, absolutely terrible. But guess what? With our commander, it's only going to cost 1 and it draws a card. Those are cantrips, baby.
Next, we're moving on to the enchantment payoffs. Auras are nice, but if you build your entire deck and just only play auras and you don't have any payoffs, there's no reason to actually have done that. So this is going to tie it all together, make these crappy auras that are costing 1 mana and cycling even better. When we have Core Spirit Dancer, whenever you cast an aura, you draw a card. So they draw 2 cards. Now we're up and we're filtering through our entire deck. You have to kill this card. And it's also a B plan B, to suit up with auras.
Yeah, it holds auras really well, and if you can get some protection, which it lacks, then it can get to a point where, it's a big bad threat, can get through. Saram, it's also going to draw when we cast auras, same exact thing, basically. Mesa Enchantress, just going to draw when we cast enchantment, so it's a color-shifted Enchantress, and actually it's called Enchantress.
Color-shifted Viridian Enchantress.
Yeah.
It's just an Enchantress.
That's true. Some other payoffs, we have Archon of Sun's Grace, Hallowed Hunting, and Sigil of the Empty Throne. All 3 of these say whenever you cast an enchantment, get some sort of creature in some way.
Yeah, it's going to help build our board state out. Not that we're trying to go wide or anything, but it's nice to always have some creatures in play so that we're never hurting for these Voltron cards.
Yeah, it's making tokens is going to be key to recovering from board wipes in a lot of situations. All right, we don't have a lot of creatures out. If we just play Killian, we're so susceptible to anything. Even if we don't want to be susceptible to Fleshbag Marauder, that's going to suck. But if you can play out Archon first, then Killian, then an enchantment, okay, now you're building a board and you're not susceptible to nearly as much.
Yeah, because if Killian's indestructible and stuff, I'm not going to put cards in specifically to stop like Dreadhorde General and Fleshbag Marauder, but I'm going to make sure I have other dummies so that I can chump block, crack back, get something, swing at somebody else for the Monarchy. They're going to be useful.
Yeah, another great payoff, Catilda. She's a flyer with lifelink whose power and toughness are equal to the number of enchantments and spirits you control. She's a spirit herself. She's automatically a 1/1. There's enchantments everywhere. This thing's going to be a 5/5 easy. And on the other side, usually it would be 5 mana to enchant a creature and give all of her abilities to it. But it's only going to cost 3 mana because of Killian, and that's going to make this card actually very strong for the deck.
It's basically an enchantment that just cares about, hey, +X, X's enchantments, a little bit of extra evasion, and that's going to segue right into Ethereal Armor and all that glitters. These are the big power, toughness, grant boosters that are going to let Killian turn from, okay, he has Intimidate and +0, +2. He's still a 2/2 with 2 power. It's like, well, no. Now he's like a 10/10, and we're just going to smash.
Yeah, those things get out of hand quick if you've never played against them. They add up very, very fast. If you have both on, you're going to be killing someone with commander damage probably that turn.
Yeah, all three of those are probably guaranteed +7/+7, and that lets Killian get into the 2-shot range, which is kind of the sweet spot because we can protect him until the cows come home, and he's got lifelink, so we're not worried about dying on the backswing as much.
Yeah, another sweet payoff for being in this enchantment deck in black that you don't see in most enchantment decks, because most enchantment decks, they're more green, white, blue. They're the Bant colors. But because we have black, we get Doomwake Giant, which says when an enchantment enters the battlefield, each creature your opponents control get -1/-1. This can be awesome. We will get to it, but we have lots of ways to put a lot of enchantments out at once.
And it also counts itself. So first, you're 5 mana for a Shrivel, but then what you want to do is follow it up. And since all of our auras are reduced, we can easily go, once we have 7 mana, Doomwake, aura, draw some cards off of them, trigger whatever, and then now all your 3/3s are gone, and we still have Doomwake. It's still an effect that's going to persist.
Yeah, exactly. So if you start building up more tokens, we can just, even if we only could play 1 or 2 enchantments in a turn, it's still going to keep all the small creatures off the board. It's going to act as an Elish Norn-esque wipe to keep creatures off the board.
This shuts off chump blockers for Killian, too. If he doesn't have, unblockability, he can be chump blocked, but not when all the 1/1s and 2/2s are gone.
That's what's great about it. And the Killian, it needs to be double chump block. He is so good.
Lastly, since we kind of went crazy on this, there's 2 lands that work with enchantments. Hall of Heliod's Generosity puts our best dead enchantment back on top so we can reuse it. And Sarah Sanctum, I don't know who doesn't have one of these lying around, but this is basically a bulk card. It's really good in Enchantress. This is a staple if you can afford it.
It's only $100. Yeah,
That's chump change.
Chump change?
Chump change.
It's a reserve list card. It's insane. I mean, this card is very, very good. If you're playing an Enchantress deck and you can afford one, you obviously should be playing it.
We're not playing all enchantments and auras, though. We do have some reduced removal because that also takes advantage of Killian's ability. We can use it offensively on their things and just get rid of them. I guess maybe that's defensively. Finale of Eternity is the first one. It's X black. You target 3 creatures, so it's going to cost 2 less. So at bare minimum, you could play black to destroy 3 creatures that are 2/2s.
Yeah, and it just scales from there. I mean, the 3 mana, you're destroying
3 3/3s.
3 3/3s, and you can guess the scaling from there. It also has the awesome mode of a super ridiculous late game card if it happens to come to that.
And it costs 2 less, so it's not 12 mana. You only have to put 10 into it, so it's just more doable.
Yeah, and Drag of Sorrows, this is the only deck this card will ever go on because it's one of the worst pieces of cardboard I've ever seen.
It's so bad.
But luckily, Killian makes it pseudo-playable. It is X, 4 in a black. Now, that's already a ridiculous cost.
This card, every part of this card reads ridiculously.
Destroy X creatures and draw X cards. So, X, 2 in a black is much more reasonable, which is what it'll cost when we have Killian out.
For 5 mana, instead of nothing, we can destroy 2 creatures and draw 2 cards. That's sort of the lowest this will go. And if we draw it late game, it's kind of like a Plague Wind, refills our hand.
Yeah, exactly. This card is not amazing, but it is fairly strong and definitely powered up. This is when don't play this card if you don't have Killian on the battlefield. It'll embarrass you. You'll be embarrassed.
This is the one deck. I can't even imagine another deck this would go in.
One that reduces black spells by 4 if they cost exactly X 4 black.
Maybe some commander that says instead of X, you can just pay 100.
Oh.
That would be good.
X, whenever you cast an X spell, X automatically equals 100.
I guess you'd lose. You just draw 100 cards.
Well, I mean, that's your fault. Why would
that is your fault. Heliod's Intervention, it hits artifacts and enchantments, but it will cost 2 less if any of the targets are a creature.
Well, what's hilariously funny about this is it means that if there are 1 or 2 creature targets, they're absolutely 100% free to kill.
Yep.
So if there's 1 creature, it's just a free kill, and you get another artifact with it.
Yeah, if I wanted to hit his Rhystic Study and his Smothering Tithe, all right, X equals 2. But if there's a Memnite and a Ornithopter out, those just go away because that's your extra 2 because you target them. You reduce by 2 extra targets.
Yeah, you literally get to add, like, you get the creature and another target. It's so nice. It's just a nice little bonus to have. Generous gift. I mean, this is already a staple of the format, but if it only costs white, well, that card's absolutely busted.
Swords to Elephant Shares. Yep, that's catchy.
That's
Hagra Mauling, we're going to play it anyway, but it's only black on the spell side, which is the worst side. And now it's like Doomblade or Tapland. That's even better than it already was. Not that Doomblade is good. I don't know how many times I have to say Doomblade's bad. This is an MDFC.
If Doomblade's a land on the other side, it's great.
Yeah, but it's not. It's Doomblade on the other side. It's the back of a Magic card.
Yeah, it's the back of a Magic card on the other side. Doomblade with Doomblade on the other side would be what they're doing with the coin flip deck.
Pretty terrible choices.
Curtain's Call. This is going to cost you 1 mana to destroy 2 creatures. It's a good rate. It's a good rate.
I love that so much. It's just a 1 mana destroy 2 things.
Yeah, you can't get it's unmatched, and Killian just let you do that.
Yeah, we also have Darksteel Mutation. It's an aura, so it kind of fits in. It makes up for the fact that this only costs 1. We're not getting a crazy reduction on it, but it's playable. And this is a Joe Cherry's original, so I'm not even going to say anything.
It's Enslave. It's a mind control effect, but it costs 2 less. Is it great? No, but it's super on theme with the deck, and we do care about enchantment counts for quite a few cards, so there is some good stuff to get here with this card.
You're like, you play it, and the reduced thing you get is mind control.
Yeah.
No, not mind control. Control magic.
Control magic. Well, you get control magic, but also it's control magic.
Yes, exactly. Inner Demon is next. You're enchanting Killian, most likely, and then you're -2/-2ing all non-demon creatures. Clears the way for Killian. We don't have a ton of super valuable other creatures in the deck. They're going to be out, and maybe we'll lose 1 or 2 along the way, but we can control when we cast this. We can cast this first. We can buff them all up and make sure they don't die, and it's just a nice little beefy boost.
What a weird card. It's an aura that gives +2/+2, makes it a demon, gives it flying.
Yeah. And then infests.
It just infests. What a strange card, but I thought it was very good for this deck. I mean, black to infest and pump your commander just feels great.
Last but not least, we got to make sure we're winning the game. This is a combat-based deck, so you're not going to find any infinite combos here. Pretty hard to do that in black-white with enchantments. But we've got some slam dunks that are going to make sure the game ends very quickly.
Yeah, this is it's not infinite, but it's what's the word? It's
lethal.
Mass. It's when you
critical mass.
It's a critical mass essentially combos, where you just put so much together that you're going to win. It's replenish, retether, Mantle of the Ancients. These are all very similar. Replenish brings all our enchantments from our graveyard back to the battlefield, no matter what they are. Retether does it with auras that go on creatures, and Mantle of the Ancients gets all our auras back and puts them on one of our creatures. We get to choose though. We don't have to make it a stupid bug if we don't want to.
Right. We get to choose all the best ones, throw it on there. So these are the best when you kind of rebuilding from a board wipe. Maybe it's late game. When you play Killian, you go pass. All you have to do is play any one of these cards, and it is literally will just be lethal. And you'll just kill somebody out of nowhere. And especially if they don't respond to it, all the enchantments just go there, and Killian's unstoppable.
Yeah. Eldrazi's Conscripts is the last way to win. I mean, this ends up costing 6, which is actually a huge reduction.
It's now castable.
It's now a castable spell, and it's more like this is a playable spell. It's like at 8, it's like you really got to be doing some shenanigans with it, which we are. We have the shenanigans with it, but at 6, this is like a spell that you can consider putting in like certain decks.
Yeah, so this overall, I think this is a solid Voltron deck. It's going to be able to kill people. It's going to be able to definitely answer any threat your opponent can present. So I hope you're happy with this, Joseph. There's a full link in the description if you want to see the whole deck.
Yeah, I mean, well, he does want to see the whole deck. We built this deck
for anyone who wants to see it.
Yeah, whoever wants to see it, it's in the description below. Take a look. This deck is awesome. But
I think it's as cool as we had theory crafted before making it.
Yeah, I mean, when I make a deck and there's 10 cards I didn't know really existed beforehand in the deck, that's usually what I'm happy. And it's not didn't know existed, but that I've never put in a deck before. I guess is the better way to put it.
Yeah, there were some cool ones even on the fringes. We were like, oh man, a different version of this could play Hateful Eidolon. I love that card.
Yeah, exactly. We cut Hateful Eidolon was one of the last cuts, but it's totally playable in this deck.
And you could go for the crazy, you could try to heavy self-mill with Stitcher Supplier and Timurat Calls the Dead, so that you can replenish and make them even better. There's so many things you could do.
Yeah, and this deck gets more consistent if you had tutors. I mean, there's a lot of
pretty easy to throw Vamp Tutor and Enlightened Tutor in your deck.
Vamp Tutor, Enlightened Tutor, Demonic Tutor. I mean, if you want the deck to be more consistent, then you can do that. But that is our video. Special shoutouts to all of our patrons. Love you as much as we can without making you uncomfortable. Thank you all for the support that you give us directly. It lets us do this full time, and we greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be able to go full time with 2 people so quickly, but we did because of your amazing support. So continue to do that, especially if you want to go to the link in the description for TCG Player. You can buy the cards that you were gonna buy anyway. Get them shipped to you, always faster than you think it's gonna be, and then boom! As long as you started with the link, you're supporting the nerds.
Yeah, we just ordered all of our stuff for episode 2 of Scuffle Shuffle. I know episode 1's not out, but we're recording episode 2 already.
Yes, and for all the people keep asking when's gameplay? It's coming.
We're literally
episode 1 is recorded.
We're working on it. It's
just needs to be edited.
It needs to be edited, exactly. It's a lot of work. We appreciate everyone who donated to the Kickstarter, and we're getting it out for you, and I can't wait to get this more consistently rolling.
And I think at this point we've gotten almost every Kickstarter reward out. There is one more tune-up, and then the Kickstarter will be a closed chapter in the Nitpicking Nerds history.
You haven't responded, and I don't want to say your name, but if you are the one guy who donated X dollars
on the Patreon, on the tune-up tier.
On the tune-up tier for Kickstarter, message us. We want to do a tune-up. You're the last one left. I haven't gotten a message back from you, but who checks Kickstarter for messages?
Yeah, maybe we'll throw you one on Discord or something if we can find you.
Yeah, just find us and message us, and we will gladly do that for you. Also, we have a Dragon Shield link, which you didn't mention.
But this is the right time.
Yeah,
right after the missing supporter shout out.
Yeah. So Dragon Shield, head over to dragonshield.com using our links in the description below. Those are affiliate links. Buy the sleeves that are going to protect your cards better than any other sleeves.
Good sleeves.
Good sleeves. Best sleeves in the multiverse. Just go get them. Support the nerds. Pay the same price you would at your local game store.
I don't hate better than any other sleeves as a slogan. That's really aggressive.
Better than any other sleeves.
Maybe like every other sleeve sucks. That would be their slogan.
Yeah.
That's so.
Screw you.
Competitors.
Yeah. We won't say your name because that'd be stupid.
This is still the slogan. Even this. And slogan.
Tidbit about our lives, BZ. This is more of a question for like everybody at home. And could you date somebody with extremely different beliefs than you? And I'm talking about mostly like religious beliefs, spiritual stuff. Could you date somebody who just believed something completely opposite of you? Like, it's tough. And I actively, Chad, who I am dating, does have some sort of belief in ghosts or spirits or whatever, and I'm completely just don't believe in any of that for the most part. I'm very, very much a skeptic.
Yeah, I don't know. It's always like in my head, yeah, I totally could. I respect people's beliefs, and everybody has the right to believe in whatever. Maybe what comes down to is how much that person like pushes it on you. Because I'm not going to push my beliefs on anybody else unless they ask or they want to debate about it. But if they're getting really pushy and kind of being weird or saying like, oh, you don't do this, and just like passive aggressive stuff, then it's just impossible.
Well, I think what happens is when it's a relationship and it's building to like the point of like you're not just dating, you're partners and you're sharing your life, you're sharing everything. So it includes your beliefs about everything basically. And at a point when you date somebody for 10 years, you're going to end up talking about everything.
Oh yeah.
So it's just it's tough when you strongly disagree on something. Luckily, Chad, it does not push his ghost beliefs at all. I don't understand his ghost beliefs, and I can't follow his logic how he gets there, but I respect him enough to let it go.
Yes, I could. I mean, we could do a whole different YouTube channel about ghosts, but we're just not going to do that. I don't think I need to share my opinions here. Maybe in the Discord. Hit us up in the Discord and ask us what we think.
It's really easy to get our opinions. Me and BZ are skeptics. I would describe
us that information.
I would describe us as skeptics, and that's it.
Skeptical nerds.
Skeptical nerds. Peace out, Tribe Scouts.